Let's have a look at the if statement. So what I'll do is I'll organize this a little bit. Right, all that. And this one, I'll just delete all that. And let's do the if statement. All right, so with the if statement in JavaScript, let's do a full if statement. You go if my rand is less than 5, say, you open close brackets. You got these other brackets here for the check, and you go print line. Let's print. It's going to be less than 5. And then if for an if else, or rather else if, you go else if my rand triple equals 50, say. You can print something there. Equals 50. And finally, you can have like a default. If neither of these are true, then you want to have some kind of output, you just go else. And that should be familiar to you all. All right, so so that should be familiar to you all. That's the syntax for it. Now in Python, it's very similar, but there are some differences. I'll do the same thing. Actually, I can just copy and paste this. Actually, I'll copy and paste a little bit of it just so you don't get confused. So in Python, first off the bat, let's try that. Yeah, error. First off the bat, there's an error here. It doesn't like nothing there. It needs a colon there. It needs a colon there, and then it will work. And another thing is, it doesn't use these brackets, right? So you're wondering, if it doesn't use these brackets, what does it use? This indentation here, this tab, is important because this tab acts as these scoping brackets. Anything inside there will happen if this is true. If it's not inside these brackets, it can happen, you know, it's not related to this if statement, Whereas this one, if I get rid of it, right, then this is not inside this. So to put things inside of things in Python, you got to use a indentation, and they're important. All right, let's have a look at the else if. Now we don't write else if in Python. We shorten it by that, and we put the semicolon up, and then we put some kind of condition. Double equals in this scenario. And we can print, show exactly what we printed before. Yeah. No semicolon, sorry. And if you want it inside, you got to put it, if you want these brackets, this indentation acts as those brackets. And finally, oh yeah, got to put a semicolon there. I always forget that when I'm programming. Finally, for the else, it's the same, except you put this semicolon. By default there. So they're the key differences. Something else to note, if I get rid of these brackets in JavaScript, it's going to error out. It needs these brackets to be happy, or especially in this environment, Khan Academy. But in Python, I can get rid of these brackets in the if else and in the else if and the if part, and it will still work. So it's all good there. So small differences. Else if is shorter. You don't need the brackets. right? And you need these semicolons after every check. So if you do a particular check, like a condition check, you need these colons. Did I say colon? Yeah. Well, colons. Finally, if you want to do something outside of this, you just make sure you don't indent it. If I type this in, this is not inside this because it doesn't have the tab. So it's like doing this in JavaScript. Right? But if you put an indentation there, you've just put this inside this. It's like doing this. I'll show you. I'll put a semicolon. It's like chucking this by inside the brackets. So you see the difference? So that indentation is really important. Making sure you put it in the right place is one of the key problems that can occur when you first learn Python. Whereas in JavaScript, it's kind of clear that if it's not in there, it's not in there. If it's in there, it's in there, right? And even if you didn't have a indentation, this is still not in there, and this is still not outside, right? That pretty much concludes this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope that helped to kind of summarize this new language we're learning. I'll see you in the next video.